Good day. It's certainly a pleasure to be back with you on the Health Beat Show. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson, and welcome to the Health Beat Show.
Health Beat. You don't have to take my word, but I heard if you have your health, you have everything. Take my word, but I heard about the health beat you're gonna be. How you wanna be? Show me how it will be. How you wanna be? Show me how it will be. Listen to the show. The more you'll know about your health, so body and mind.
And welcome back to the Health Beat Show. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson, and we are here at the James A. Watson Wellness Center. The James A. Watson Wellness Center is the child of the Arlington Medical Center, which started in the early 1960s. We are trying to carry on the current trends in healthcare, and right now we have with us one of the top administrative minds in the state and maybe even in the country, in none other than Mr. Bob Smith. Welcome to the Health Beat Show, Mr. Smith.
It's a pleasure being here.
Okay, and we're so honored that you would be here with us and that you would actually work with us here at the James A. Watson Wellness Center as the administrator of the office.
Well, Dr. Watson, it's my pleasure to be here. I have been in the community health center movement for a long time, and one of the things that gives me great pleasure in my job is being able to work in the community and work with my people, and being able to try to resolve some of the healthcare problems that exist in the community. I've always enjoyed doing that, and you present a great opportunity for me to continue that role, and I greatly appreciate that.
Well, thank you. Now, tell us a little bit about your background. You know, we know some about doctors, nurses, and so on, but to really make a system go, a clinic go, you have to, and insurance plans and the whole bit, you have to have partners, you have to have people who have the right thought process from a business standpoint, personnel, administrative. Tell us a bit about your background and training.
My background, I attended, of course, I'm a Berkeley High School kid, graduated from Berkeley High School in the mid-60s, and went to Cal. Had the pleasure of going to Cal, and I majored in business administration. And that was an entree into other areas. Became very interested in the whole aspect of business, but the other thing that Cal fostered on me was a commitment to the community and being able to give back. So I was able to marry those two activities together. Immediately after Cal, I began teaching school a little bit, and I found out about this strange entity called the Community Health Center. Community health centers were an amalgam of providers such as yourself, doctors who were concerned about the community, but they added a new dimension to healthcare, and what they added were outreach workers, or people who were able to go in the community, find individuals that had particular kinds of problems, and then link them up with the resources in the various communities to improve the health of the whole community area. Community health centers caught on as a tremendous energy in this country. There must be now 1,300 community health centers, federally funded community health centers in the country. There are 6 or 7 right here in Alameda County, and they do a great job. But their specific role is to deliver health care services to the medically indigent and the medically needy in areas where they're not traditional big hospitals or large medical groups, areas where people have to track miles away to go to their health care systems. So I've been involved in that, and what my aspect of learning was how to administer those, how to make sure we get the resources necessary for those kind of organizations to thrive and grow. So I've enjoyed that role. I've had the pleasure of not only working in San Francisco. I was at the old Hunters Point Neighborhood Health Center for a few years under Dr. Arthur Coleman. I know that name might ring a bell with you.
Wow.
So
know
that's
very well.
Okay, that's where I learned my entree into community medicine. Fortunately, from there, the Community Health Center movement had a fellowship program, so I was able to get my master's degree in public administration from University of Southern California. And from there, I've been in community health centers at Watts, I was at the Watosn Center for about 13 years. From there, I moved to another health center in San Fernando Valley called Northeast Health Corporation, and just been doing that in periphery all over the country, St. Louis, LA, and particularly Southern California most of my lifetime. Found my way back up to Berkeley and fortunate enough to get together with you, and so here we are.
And I feel very fortunate with that type of vast knowledge and background. I mean, it really, we're in a time right now when there is a major amount of change going on. We're going from a situation in which we thought managed care was going to be the answer. And even managed care went into the indigent neighborhood. We had managed Medi-Cal. We've got the county healthcare system. And in the state of California, with our governor having changed, we've tried to come up with other ways of caring. Now there are cuts. Medi-Cal just cut back 10%. And we're talking about trying to take care of the indigent patients. What do you think is going to happen? How can this be done?
Well, if it continues to proceed as it has in the past, it's obviously going to be a big tragedy for indigent communities. Because the providers are not going to be here to provide the services. As you're well aware from your traverse in the medical field and what you do on a daily basis, hospitals and the emergency rooms are becoming the primary focal point for health care for the poor. And the emergency rooms actually do a fantastic job for what they have to do, but they're not designed as primary care givers. And it's a very expensive mode of delivery of health care. Organizations such as the Watosn Wellness Center that has a wealth of other support opportunities around it are more akin because they're in the community and they're more attuned to the needs of the individuals that they serve. The 10% cut in the Medi-Cal program is going to disproportionately affect minority individuals. It's going to disproportionately affect children, and those are the ones that are most needy at this point. That again is one of the real focal points of community health centers. I think fundamentally what's a real challenge to this state and this country, and of course we hope that the upcoming presidential election can bring some pressure to bear on that, is that this country has always viewed health care as a privilege. And we all know that health care is absolutely a right of individuals. Other countries in this world address that very well. For example, Germany has a across-the-board healthcare system, a single-payer system. Japan has a single-payer system, and they make sure that every individual in that country is covered for healthcare, and they have some of the best results around. It's a real enigma. The United States spends 16% of its GDP on healthcare, and we are ranked 16th in the world as far as the quality of healthcare. For example, Germany and Japan spend about 8% of their GDP on income, and everybody in the country is covered. So it's not an issue that can't be done. It has to do with a philosophy and a will. And hopefully, as I said, there's a change we hope coming in Washington, and we hope that that change will be a focal point to allow healthcare to be viewed as a right rather than a privilege.
Now, you know, locally we have worked with our government, with our county board of supervisors, and with the Alameda County healthcare system to try to allow us to be able to care for some indigent patients. And we have developed a plan called the County Medical System Plan. What's your thought about how that's going to go? I mean, essentially we are trying to make it available for people to come to the James A. Watosn Wellness Center who are 200% below the poverty level. What's your thought about a clinic like this being able to transition into at least a portion of its services, being able to offer those kinds of services?
Well, I think it's an excellent idea, and I think it's a great opportunity and a good possibility. Of course, Alameda County is blessed with having some of the more progressive thinkers in the social realm of the world, and that really gives you an edge in terms of getting those things done. And I think that it appears as though the Alameda County folks are beginning to look at trying to develop an integrated system so that all kinds of healthcare providers can cooperate and coordinate care so that individuals will have a single home base to get the care that they need, but they will also be able to access all of the specialty and other supportive care that they need. And that's one of the things that is very fascinating about what you do here. I'm just amazed that you do it as a one-person operation. Although there are other providers here, but we just need to be able to multiply what you do here in a number of different ways, and I think that that would work extremely well in terms of forging a single system where everybody has access to care.
And we're trying to do that. We have a partner, the Save a Life Wellness Center, which is actually open tonight.
Right.
On San Pablo Street in Oakland, and we're trying to get other providers to become involved with us and partner with us, and that's one of the things we do. We stretch out into the community and partner with people, so that, because obviously none of us can save the world, but we'd like to come back in just a moment. We're here with Mr. Bob Smith. Mr. Bob Smith is one of the top administrators around the country. You heard him talking about Japan and Germany, maybe in the world. He's got a wealth of knowledge, and I want to tap that wealth when we come back and ask him what he thinks going to happen when either Obama or McCain takes over as president. Welcome to this segment of Fitness Facts. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson. We're right here at 24 Hour Fitness with Miss Shamir Washington and with the tough but great Coach Keith, who's going to talk to us about how to get in shape. Today we're going to be talking with the coach about how to tighten up the abdomen. Later we'll be talking about your sides, and later we'll be talking about your glutes. Coach, tell us some exercises to really get a six-pack going.
Excellent, thank you, Doc. Why don't you guys go ahead and lay back. We're going to go ahead and dive on into some exercises that are perfect for getting you guys ready, swimsuit ready by the summer, toning and shaping the abs. A couple of things I want to point out is when you're doing abdominal exercises, specifically crunches or anything where you're lifting your upper torso, you really want to relax your neck, don't jerk it, and just really breathe. So let's go ahead and first put our hands up. Perfect. Take a deep breath in, exhale and relax. Perfect, and we're going to go ahead and lift up. Ready? And lift. 1, 2, 3. Nice and strong. 4. Good. 5. That's it. 6, 7. Good. 8, 9. One more good one. And 10. Good. Hold that position. Take a deep breath in. Good. Exhale and relax. Arms out. Good. And we're going to go ahead and lift up. Okay, what we're focusing on is, again, contracting the upper abdominal area and lifting the shoulders off the ground. And remember to breathe. All right, ready? And lift. 1, good. Lift those arms off the ground. 2, 3, that's better. 4, 5, don't jerk your neck. 6, 7, nice. 8, 9, one more, and 10.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
We're rocking and rolling. That's what I like. We want six-pack abs, right?
That's right.
All right, we're going to do it. Hands down by your side, arms off the ground. Take a deep breath in. Good. Exhale and relax. And lift. 1. Good. Don't jerk that neck. 2. Relax your neck. 3. Focus on your contracting the abs. Take your mind and put it on your abdominal muscles. 6, 7. Good. 8, 9, and last one, 10. Good. And go ahead and relax. Take a deep breath in. Good. Exhale and relax. Last set of these. Hands in between your legs. Good. And we're going to lift. And lift. 1. Good. 2. Nice. 3, 4, 5. Good. 6. Come on, finish strong. 8, 9, and 10. Very nice, very nice.
There you have it from the coach. Those are the ab exercises. We're going to get that six-pack. You learned it right here on Fitness Facts, coming to you from the 24-Hour Fitness right here in Oakland. We've got Coach Keith, Shamir Washington, and you. Stay tuned for the Health Beat. We are very fortunate to be here with none other than Chef Leslie. Chef Leslie gets out in the community, teaches people how to make juice, how to cook appropriately, how to keep the fat and fried stuff out, and if you do use any kind of cooking, how to keep it with low cholesterol keep the sodium down. And we're even talking some about sugar. How you doing, Chef Leslie?
I'm doing fine, Doctor.
It's good to see you again. It's good to see you. All right, all right. And it's an absolute blessing to be here with you again, as we've had at so many of these events.
right.
And you're teaching people about juicing. Now, is there anything special about juicing? What's the benefit of that, or just pouring a carton of orange juice?
Okay, first of all, I think that juicing, we're talking about nutrients, and so we're talking about minimizing the loss of nutrients. And I think that I feel that when you juice, you get all of the nutrients in apples and carrots and celeries and things of that nature. On the other hand, when you do fruit juices, coupled with man-made ingredients, additives and preservatives and corn syrup and fructose, I think it's defeating the whole purpose. And it's just been my opinion that additives and preservatives are not good for us.
Now, for instance, you have put into this juice, you have put celery, I saw you put some apples, and I saw you put some carrots in it. Now, may I taste
Absolutely.
that? It just made my mouth water watching you make it. But the benefit of this is with your celery, you've got fiber. With your, apples, you have some fiber. Your carrots, you've got the vitamin A in it.
Yes.
So you've got all these Now, how would those things taste mixed? I'm going to see.
Drum roll time.
Really good.
Yes,
That
that's
is
it.
really good.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like a different flavor, though. I mean,
Yeah.
you got that celery taste mixed with apple and mixed with, I would have never have thought that kind of mixture would just come together. And you didn't do anything special. You just how
put it
many
in.
carrots to apples to
Okay.
celery sticks?
For me, I use 4 to 3. 4 apples, 3 celery, 3 carrots, pardon me, and 1 celery.
The carrots are good for your eyes,
Absolutely.
red and A. You've got the celery has a lot of fiber in it, which is going to help your colon and prevent colon cancer. Your apples, those are going to have vitamins and fiber in it too.
Absolutely.
A little bit of sugar in the apples, a little bit of natural fructose, and anybody who's a diabetic, you could dilute that with a little bit of water,
Exactly.
so it wouldn't bring their sugar up.
And I think it's really important that juices be talked about in terms of how sweet it is, because not even as a diabetic, sugar also causes obesity.
Right.
And so even my kids, my 3-year-old and my 11-year-old, they still dilute their juice with water, and because that's really important. I mean,
And you gotta clean your fruits and vegetables. Don't just assume.
yeah,
Don't
exactly.
assume that they're clean, because they can have pesticides if they're on the outside.
Yes,
so that's the
absolutely.
first thing you want to do before you juice. All right, we're right here with Chef Leslie on Down Home Healthy Cooking with the Health Beat Show. Okay, here at the James A. Watson Wellness Center, we teach, and we have students here with us. We have medical students. We have students from the Physician Assistant Program. So I want to give you a little bit of a quiz that I do all day long. First of all, I'd like to ask you, what kind of a pituitary tumor will cause a woman to lose their period, and what is the hormone that is secreted?
Prolactinoma.
Prolactinoma, that's right. That's a little tumor in the pituitary gland. It secretes the hormone that causes breast milk and will make a woman lose their period. Actually, it causes headaches too. Now, how about we see a lot of high blood pressure, right? And you saw some today.
Yes.
And of the high blood pressure that we saw, what kind of a situation would you see high blood pressure with a low potassium, but the person is not on a water pill or a diuretic?
Possibly with an adrenal adenoma.
With an adrenal adenoma. That would be a tumor of the adrenal gland. So when you see patients, don't just think that it's time to just refill their medicines. I mean, obviously, you've got to test them. If it's a woman, she's lost her period. It may not be that she's just pregnant. It may be that you need to test her hormones. If it's somebody with high blood pressure, it may not be that they have just lowered the potassium, but it may be that they have a adrenal adenoma. The James A. Watson Wellness Center, we're learning, so we will let you know that if you knew better, you could do better. When you come into the James A. Watson Wellness Center, you'll find that the rooms are very peaceful, they're very comfortable. Many times people even wonder if they're in a doctor's office because traditionally you feel nervous, anxious in the doctor's office. We want you to see how warm and comfortable these exam rooms are. Just about every room we put a very nice piece of artwork in because we want you to feel comfortable. The walls and the artwork and the countertops, we have granite countertops in every room. They're all color coordinated by yours truly, the designer here. The floors are not your traditional floors. They have a wood appearance to them and they're very comfortable and also very easily cleaned and sterilized. Each room just about follows a different color pattern. We have a lab actually here, and in the lab you can have your blood drawn. And so, you know, we want everything to be very convenient. You don't have to leave and go to the lab. And we are right here at the James A. Watson Wellness Center with one of the top healthcare administrators in the nation, or maybe even in the world. You heard him talk some about Germany, you heard him talk some about Japan. I want you all to come right back because I'm going to ask him what is going to happen to us in the United States when we have either McCain or we have Obama as president with our U.S. healthcare plan. Stay tuned, we've got a good one right here on the Health Beat Show. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson and welcome back to the Health Beat Show. We are right here at the James A. Watson Wellness Center with none other than one of the top administrators in the nation, maybe the world, in Mr. Bob Smith. And Mr. Smith, I was talking to you, you've got such a wealth of knowledge, you've worked with healthcare centers, major systems in Los Angeles, the East Coast, you know about Europe and Asia. What do you think is going to happen to our healthcare system as we have the new upcoming election? We had one person, Hillary, was trying to say that everybody was going to get healthcare, universal healthcare. That's you can't just push a button and everybody gets free healthcare. McCain, I'm not sure what his whole dialogue is, but it's that I think is going to probably follow what Bush did. And then we have Obama that really seems to discuss kind of where things are right now. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I'm going to pull out my crystal ball on this one.
Okay.
And it's going to be very, very interesting. And I think that for the first time in a long time, I think that the people of this country will be able to drive the argument a little bit. And that's been a very important missing element, is that the people haven't really pushed for what they know they need. There are many people in this country that are in favor of a single payer. And I mean, when you use that phrase, a lot of people get scared and they think about socialism and communism and all of those things. But the real difference is that viewing healthcare, as we've talked about earlier, as a right rather than as a privilege or something that you become special, and because you have money you get access to it. I think that the McCain side of the argument, and he obviously is very much in favor of a little bit more of the same. He firmly believes in free market economy concepts, so he's pushing for a lot of for-profit corporations to continue to drive the medical and healthcare system in this country. And it will essentially produce more of the same. How they will cover additional individuals probably will mean that they'll come up with a few special programs to put some dollars into communities to do certain kinds of things. But we basically will see a lot more of the same. And I don't think that it will improve the health status of this country across the board. It probably will improve the health status of small segments of this country, but not across the board as we feel that we need it. Hillary's concept was, yes, very radically different, because she was talking about a single payer system. And it ran into a number of very important and moneyed lobbyists who were dead set against that. So that was the real stinger when they first approached the issue and when she was trying to present her plan. Obama is talking about, as you said earlier, somewhere a little bit in the middle, but closer to what Hillary is talking about. He is not at this point fully embracing full coverage for every individual. He's trying to develop a system that will eventually get there, but it's going to take a little bit of time. And I think the people of this country are going to try to force the issue a little bit more. As you see a group as divergent as the emergency room, the Association of Emergency Room Physicians, are beginning to lobby against the cuts for Medi-Cal, because they know something like that is going to impact the health care and the status of everybody. It's going to prevent them from doing the job that they do of emergency services, emergency care in the emergency room, because it's going to be so flooded with individuals coming in looking for primary health care. So that's all of a sudden a group that had never been there before who's now advocating for this kind of thing. So I think there's going to be pressures coming down like that. And again, organizations such as the James A. Watson Wellness Center will be in the middle of that fray because the government will begin to look at organizations such as this as the providers of health care, because the focus should be on primary health care rather than episodic or curative health care. And that's really the big difference.
And in some places they call that the safety net provider.
Right.
is what the James A. Watson Wellness Center is. We really enjoyed having you with us, Mr. Bob Smith, administrative extraordinaire, really has a great deal of knowledge about the whole healthcare system, administratively, politically, and where it's going. We're going to have you come back many times because there's a lot of stuff going on in the future. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Watson. Remember always that your health is your wealth, and when you have your health, you have everything. God bless. We'll see you next time.